My partner has the great good fortune of mostly supporting me. Because for many years I made almost no money. I still make almost no money, but now I have a book that I can say, look. And so in exchange for that, I've written him a couple of poems, mostly about his snoring. So you date poets for the poems, the love poems, and in my case you get poems of mockery, mostly of mockery. But anyways, this one's called Preconception. He comes to, righteous, rigid, that he was not snoring. All his knowledge of the hours I spend lying at his side, gathered in the moments it takes him to fall asleep. He knows how my legs twitch as I unbend, not making grasshopper bounds, not making music to attract him, but jerking me out of the lazy S's, the warm loops of limbs he prefers as he sibilates towards sleep, his soft lips on my ear. He knows how we go, rocking and aching into sleep, but he has no idea that I am his axis, that I make him rotate until his back throat black hole is as far from me as it can get. So my toes can stretch towards the cold reaches of the bed instead of the hot flare of his instep. No, I'm not done, sorry. Too long of a pause, never mind. Okay. He comes to, my elbow like a thorn in his side, murmurs that our daughter, unborn, unconceived, has been running into traffic again. How the cars narrowly missed her this time, and turns towards me with a snore so soft, all my curves go flat. And then I got immediately knocked up after writing that poem. So if you need an aphrodisiac and you've tried everything else, you might try reading that poem. All right. And then the rest of the book is a incessant litany of all the things I disliked about my pregnancy and then my child. But I'll start with 3 months morning sickness. And if you know, when you finally start telling people you're pregnant, everyone goes, so how's the morning sickness? And I had every other terrible ailment, but not morning sickness. And people seem very disappointed. They're like, really? No morning sickness? Oh, you're so lucky. Anyways, so this is my anti-morning sickness poem, and it's called 3 months morning sickness. The season regurgitates what it can't absorb. Crinkle plastic, cup lids, the heavy-footed driver, his engine heaving brake light ribbons, and white eye swerves all around him in the fog. The woman who cracks the whip, her 2 boys teetering through the puddles, even as the youngest uses his free hand to wave while shouting hellos at me, at the old Chinese man, stooped and broken-faced with giggles, even as she shouts not to talk to strangers, her voice raising to the sky. Where the season has gone light-headed, reduced to airy swipes at the hard edges of buildings, at the boy bringing home a carpet from the discount store, a piece of carpet for the doorway so when his girlfriend kicks off her shoes and looks into the darkness of the room, there'll be a bit of color between her toes. At the young woman in sweats and scowls who looks back at the toddler behind daycare glass and breaks into loose, toothy mouthfuls. The season burps, tastes bile, produces the 3 girls in tight jeans who lean against the corner of the business college, smoking, butts in bright swaths around them, where all winter there'd been the marbled humps of snow, this one smoke, this one early morning chat. But now there are patterns, there are repercussions, a whole winter's worth of talk, of suck and blow, all of them reduced to shivering in spring coats. The pigeon's wings, its body hawk-stripped down to the bone, and country western fringes of tendon. One red leg dangling from wings, like hands in flight, like my hand coming to rest on you for the first time. All of us ragged, linked only by the idea of flight. So I found pregnancy sort of physically difficult. So almost every night I took a bath. And I like my baths molten hot. And they tell you in all of those books, do not immerse yourself in boiling water. And I thought it was a blood pressure issue, right? Because, frail girls, i.e. not me, with poor circulation, they get up out of hot water, pregnancy has messed them up, they fall down and, fall on the baby. And doctors do frown on you falling on the baby. They do, they frown on that, I get that. But apparently the prohibition against hot water is a little more subtle in that it can cook the baby just a little. And so I just have to say that my daughter's well done. But the slight sear color has gone away. She's 5, she no longer quite so pink. So I'm gonna read you a poem called 6 Months in the Bath. I am a submerged island, a barnacled beast with an exposed flank, a bad mother, hot soaking away my mid-back funk. And in the tsunami aftermath of turning, where water still does not cover the bump, the belly going marble and alabaster, the rest curing red like supermarket cod. I become convinced that today's horoscope must have read. Your father will sit tight on the toilet, wanting ripples across the surface of my skin, instead of the scuttlebutt of you sculling between my hips. And to top that, the bath water will cool too soon. You are a trim swimmer, once in me, once in water, sluiced in from Shoal Lake, all that silty distance distilled down to a nightly soak, making me a meter spinner instead of a fisher, a grease trail woman who could yank you out hand over hand, string you up and let her rip. Sea immersion would make for a different creature, but you are our cunning candlefish, our very own spinning hooligan. You grow into an oily fish, a fatty cargo of lanugo and vernix, a spawning run of one, circling my fleshy pool, kicking off from the lip of my cervix with each lap, making me the murky tank to your shy, finny flit, the salt water to your fresh, and your father the pool attendant, biting his lip while he works and somehow staying dry. Tonight you are quiet, only a buttered lump, a morsel that escaped my mouth, but the moral and bite of this story is, if I am only another plump-rumped Aphrodite rising from the dying foam of these waters, he is the one with the empty stomach who will reach out and somehow steady us both. Oh! You're terrible, terrible audience. Stop that.